This topic is called Word Problem on Proportions, Problem Type 2. Now, I'm going to show you how to set up, I call it a ratio table, but we make proportions out of that table. So I'm going to show you that for this particular problem. So the residents of a city voted on whether to raise property taxes. The ratio of yes votes to no votes was 6 to 5. If there were 9,581 total votes, how many no votes were there? So we're going to do a ratio box with total. So we have yes, no, and total. And we have what's called the ratio. And then this will be our actual count. So this will be where we put our 9,581 and where we're looking for the actual count of no's. So we put in this table what's given to us. So they said the ratio of yes to no was 6 to 5. So we'll put yes to no is 6 to 5. The total is where we add those two together. So total, we add the two above it. So this will be 11. They give us the actual count of total votes was 9,581, and they say how many no votes were there. So we want this as our X. So now what we do is we focus on these two rows right here. We make fractions out of them. You can see it kind of looks like a fraction. So we have 5/11 and X over 9,581. And then we put an equal sign. So those two have to be equal to each other in order for this proportion to be correct and to be able to find our no votes. P.S. Please subscribe to my channel and like any videos that are helpful to you. So when we have a proportion and it needs to be true, cross products have to be equal to each other. So 5 times 9,581 has to equal 11 times X. But we want to know what X is, so we're going to divide by 11. So we multiply the two numbers that are across from each other and then divide by the number that is across from our missing number. So I'm going to do 5 times 9,581 divided by 11. 4,355. So we put in here 4,355 no votes. Okay, so let's do another practice. Um, this says each marble bag sold by David's Marble Company contains 4 green for every 7 red. If the bag has 20 green marbles, how many red marbles does it contain? So notice they don't give us any total. So we don't have to do a ratio box with the total. We just need green and red. And we have our ratio and our actual count. I'm just not going to write them out here. They gave us 4 green for every 7 red. They said there was 20 green. How many red marbles are there? So we're going to look at these as fractions and set them equal to each other. 4 times 7 equals 20 divided by X. Now we could do the cross multiply 20 times 7 and then divide by 4. Or we can look at this and say, wait a minute, I can times 4 by 5 to get 20. So if I times 7 by 5, that will give me how many red marbles there are. So there'll be 35 red marbles. So you could do it either way. If you notice something like that right away, you can use just the method of what do we multiply by to have those fractions be equal to. So we have union members to non-union members was 5 to 6. Now notice how they wrote this. They don't say the label after the numbers. So when they write it this way, union to non-union and 5 to 6, then it has to go in that order. There's 5 union and 6 non-union. And then it gives us total, and we would need to find how many non-union. So we're going to do union, non-union, and total. So this is a total, a ratio box with the total included. So we have our ratio and our actual count. They give us union was 5 to 6, which means our total is 11. They say there was 242 employees total. How many non-union? So we want this one. We could ignore the top row and we'll do 6/11 equals X over 242. I already know that 11 times 22 is 242, so I can do 6 times 22. But I'll have to show you that trick on 11s to show you how I know that. But probably with my calculator, I'm just going to go like that. 6 times 242 divided by 11. is 132. So real quick, I'm going to teach you this 11 things because it is so cool. There we go. So when you have a number like 22 times 11, you take the twos and you separate them, and then you add 2 plus 2 is 4, and that goes in the middle. So like if I had 54 times 11, I take the 5 and the 4, kind of separate them. 5 plus 4 is 9. So 54 times 11 is 594. It's just a really cool thing. And if you had a number like say 55, and so when you added 5 and 5, you get bigger than 9, like you get 5 plus 5 is 10. So instead of a 5, I'll put a 6. It's like you carry the 1 and it was 10, so it would be 0. So 55 times 11 is 605. It's just a cool like little thing that I love to do with 11s. So that's the end of the lesson.